Hi, I'm Charles with AniCap. We are almost at 15,000 subscribers, so please consider subscribing. Thank you. Today's anime begins by showing a dark entity frantically searching for and eventually finding a gold coin. It then uses the coin on a vending machine that dispenses a mysterious man. The man asks if they were the person that found the coin, to which the entity nods their head yes. Elsewhere, we are introduced to our main character, Shuichi. He briefly speaks with his school counselor before leaving and thinking to himself how most of what he said was a lie. As he goes about his day at school, he reminds himself to be calm and not to stick his neck out for any reason so he can live normally. He stays true to this thought as he tells himself to ignore an animal that is dead on the ground. His strategy works as he is able to blend in and enjoy the company of his friends. While sweeping after class, he is approached by a girl named Nana. She tells him of the recommendation she received that was originally intended for him and is relieved to hear that there are no hard feelings between them. She notices that he has mud on his shoes, and we see that it is because Shuichi actually went back to bury the dead animal. Later, Shuichi can't sleep and wanders out at night when he picks up the scent of a fire. His initial thought of calling for help is dismissed when he catches another scent. This time it is the scent of a person. Again, he reminds himself to not stick his neck out, but can't resist his instinctual urge to act. Shuichi doesn't know how it came to be, but he has a strange power inside of him. His mutation grants him an intense sense of smell and monstrous form. He takes a moment to think about how odd his powers are and how he has little understanding of how they work, but refocuses as he is running out of time. He rescues the girl, but in a moment of weakness begins to give in to other urges. He is able to resist and leaves while help can be heard nearby. The next day, Shuichi desperately looks for his phone only to realize that he must have dropped it while saving the girl. He fears that an investigation would eventually lead the police to discover his secret. The girl from the day before shows up with his phone and tells him that she knows that he is a monster. Later, Shuichi follows the girl's familiar scent to find her locker and retrieve his phone, but it is not there. The two then meet up at the roof of the school. The girl attempts to get Shuichi to admit to being a monster, but he denies everything, hoping that she was too unconscious to see anything. She gives up and sets the phone on the ground. However, when Shuichi goes to pick it up, she kicks him off the edge. He transforms in order to survive the fall, but the girl has now accomplished her goal. The two go into a room to avoid being seen, and she begins to inspect his transformed body. She asks if there is a real gun in his holster, but he does not know. She threatens to expose him if he doesn't answer her questions, but he has no information to give. They leave school, and the girl finally introduces herself as Claire. She shows him a coin he has never seen before and says she believes it is somehow related to monsters like him. They arrive at her home where she lives alone, and Claire begins to undress. He fails at every attempt to calm himself until she finally puts clothes back on. When she commands Shuichi around, he reminds her that he saved her life, but she reveals that what he really did was ruin her attempt at killing herself. She begins to explain how she needs his help, but they are interrupted by an intruder. The person attacks Shuichi and demands Claire to give up the coin. Claire refuses, and Shuichi manages to restrain the intruder. To their surprise, though, the person begins a transformation of their own.